Through the surveillance cameras, you and I are about to witness actual, true stories, filmed live. These recordings document the deep pain caused by a lover's brutal infidelity. The program is dedicated to the faithful broadcast as a warning to the false-hearted, hoping to spark a much-needed renewal of temperance and virtue. Coming up next on this episode of Cheaters. A confrontation was brewing. Mason was bluntly warned that cheating on his girl meant he was betraying everyone around him. This gritty reality television is brought to viewers by the agency's relentless private detectives. Right on, cheaters. Host Peter Pankey returns to guide us through another absolutely crazy chapter of Cheaters. The team lined up two top-notch surveillance cases for tonight. First up is Nadia Freeman, a loving partner, deeply concerned about her boyfriend's erratic behavior, refusing to ignore her gut instincts. Nadia reached out to the investigators to crack the case. She recalled how their early relationship felt completely real, packed with intense passion, excitement, and the kind of romance she always wanted. The two of them would constantly call and message each other throughout the entire day. They always made sure the other felt loved. But ever since the COVID-19 pandemic hit, things changed drastically. She and Mason began spending way more time cooped up at home together. Since a job as a bartender paused, the local restaurants and bars had drastically slowed. She noted that she and Mason were constantly fighting lately over finances. Beyond money issues, their physical intimacy had undeniably plummeted, too. She tried convincing herself it was just his demanding job, intense stress, or maybe depression. Deep down, though, she just wasn't completely sure. Mason Wilson, a 40-year-old tour manager, was highly suspected of personally handling some illicit backstage benefits. With their orders locked in, field agents quickly established a perimeter surrounding the client and the suspect's residence. Detectives soon caught a clear glimpse of the suspect, Mason Wilson, exiting his home and speeding off. The team immediately initiated a pursuit. Wilson finally arrived at a downtown area famous for its arts, where an unfamiliar female eagerly awaited him. Clearly sweet on each other, the suspect playfully twirled his petit four. Following their syrupy public display, Wilson and his new companion strolled closely together toward a nearby boutique sweet shop. Once inside, the two browsed the bonbons, finding a wide array of flavors to savor. With their sweet tooth fully satiated, the pair returned to the suspect's vehicle, and this so-called prince politely opened the door for his sugar plum fairy. Private investigators then shadowed the sweethearts to a secluded parking area. Standing carside, the delicious duo devoured their treats and each other. Frenzied by their sudden sugar rush, Wilson and his mysterious mistress retreated to the back seat to satisfy different cravings. With their view heavily obscured, the surveillance operatives could only speculate about the couple's activities inside. Having thoroughly filled his companion's sweet tooth, the lovebirds returned to the original parking lot just before the pair parted ways. Nadia recalled finding mysterious candy wrappers in his car a couple months ago. Later, she discovered even more wrappers secretly hidden around their shared house. She also noticed odd credit card charges to local candy shops and other places selling sweets. Nadia took it upon herself to dig through his phone, and she quickly found explicit photos of another woman. He claimed his buddy took the pictures. Mason said it was just some girl his friend hooked up with over the weekend and forwarded to his phone. Then her best friend texted asking if Nadia was at a certain local club, a club specifically for swingers and intense fetishes. She already knew that Mason was heavily into that lifestyle. He was a major player in the BDSM community. The friend texted a picture of a vehicle parked outside. It was unmistakably their shared car, complete with the exact same custom bumper sticker they always had on it. Let's ride along as Cheaters investigators get eyes on the rushing suspect. A few miles down the road, Wilson arrives at a nearby convenience store and struts inside. Moments later, our cheating suspect emerges, carrying a colorful assortment of sweets. With provisions finally procured, suspect Wilson returns home and quickly hurries up to his shared apartment. Sometime later, Operatives outside spot the female companion from their prior surveillance, now identified as Natasha Marie. The woman makes her way to the unit through hidden internal cameras installed by a very desperate Nadia. Clearly playing Candyman, this pusher happily provides his junk food junkie her fix. But the sweet mood turns sour when Wilson gets warned of Nadia's impending return. Nadia had planned to confront him about her best friend spotting their car at the club. But before she could even ask, he started taking off his shirt, and she clearly saw these fresh scratch marks all over his back. She refused to be completely disrespected if he was actually cheating. If he wasn't, however, she was still willing to do whatever it took to mend and fix whatever was broken in their relationship. The investigator's instincts pay off as companion Marie once again arrives on the scene. Once inside the apartment, his companion appears to want the grand tour. With her golden ticket punched, the insatiable Oompa Loompa and the shirtless chocolatier emerge. After a little more fondling, the suspect bids a fun farewell to his comely companion. That wraps up the cheater's investigation. After the break, the explosive confrontation. With Wilson's treacherous infidelity caught on tape, Cheaters readies the crew to bring Nadia the news. With the painful truth blaring loud and clear, Nadia bravely sets forth to finally face the harsh music. The host greeted Nadia to check in. She claimed she was doing okay, putting on a brave face for the rolling cameras. He reminded her that the team had done some digging and uncovered a few things. But before diving in, he wanted to know what had initially made her reach out to Cheaters. Nadia explained that her main concern started when her close friend called to report that she had spotted their shared car parked at a notorious BDSM nightclub. She wondered what exactly went on inside those dark lifestyle venues. She admitted she had never been to one herself, so she honestly had no clue. They had never explored that extreme side together. She apologized to the host, clearly feeling a bit awkward. She nervously laughed through the intense interview, confessing that she had never dealt with this kind of dark fetish world before today. The host confirmed the surveillance team gathered proof. "You and I are about to see it." He asked if she was ready. They watched the screen. The footage obviously showed her crib. "Today, you and I are watching the suspect jump into his car. He arrives downtown. Boom! That same young lady walks up. He grabs her, picks her up, hugs her, and bites her neck. They walk off, arriving at a candy shop where they start shopping, grabbing some candy for themselves, obviously. The mistress clearly has the sweet tooth. Mason certainly does not eat sweets. It is definitely her. They walk off. He lets her in the car like a gentleman. Sometime later, they arrive at a parking lot. They pull up and suddenly Mason is all over the other woman, hitting that aggressive Dracula flow. Unbelievable. The tension begins to build fast. The investigator asks if she wants to stop. She refuses to look away now. "Stick with me here. We are going to review another day with Mason rolling out." Cameras stay locked on him as he reaches the candy store, buying more candy despite his partner knowing that he absolutely hates eating sweets. He steps out, pulling the same moves. Then he heads straight back to his shared apartment building. Look who shows up at his place. The woman walks right in. The investigative team already secured explicit permission to surveil the residence and set up hidden cameras. They needed the inside view, so they look inside. Mason is in the apartment, and the mistress is there. Right about here, a crucial phone call takes place. The phone recording plays back loud and clear. "Hello. Hey, babe, where are you at?" "Hey, babe, I am at the house." "Oh, okay. What the hell?" She reacts to the lie. "Okay, I just got off work. I'll be home in 10 minutes. "Okay. Just let me know when you are nearby." "Let me know." "All right, love you too." Notice how he wants her to call the exact moment she gets close. He needs that warning. He needs enough time to get the other woman completely out of their shared apartment. The betrayed girlfriend realizes just how incredibly sketchy it was that he constantly demanded her exact location. Everything is finally starting to make painful sense today. On screen, the mistress pushes Mason right into the master bedroom. It is absolutely staggering. Then he comes out. She follows right behind him. The rest is history. The investigator pauses, asking if she needs time. She insists she's okay. You and I need to see this. The team has investigators tracking them now. The two are just minutes down the road, parked in a very strange spot. The host asks if she wants to confront them. Taking a deep breath, the devastated woman agrees to go, despite how incredibly strange it all feels. They prepare to pull up on the cheating couple. He tells her not to worry. The crew has her back. The team is fully deployed with private security ready. It is time to run up on Mason. Time to finally get those real answers. You and I are about to see this cheating confrontation explode. The crew arrived at the location. The host assured our victim he had her back. It was showtime. They entered a very strange place. The host told the victim to follow him. They spotted the suspect. Mason and the host immediately confronted him right there. The crew quickly spotted the other woman. The host pressed Mason, asking who this other lady was to him. Coming up next is the conclusion. It amazed everyone she was his actual girlfriend. The host stepped to Mason, demanding to know what on earth he was doing. He verified she was his main girl. The girlfriend was disgusted, realizing this side piece had been at her house. The host laid it out. They had him completely cornered with his new lady. Demanding an explanation, Mason claimed the other woman was just there supporting his band. He accused his actual girlfriend of never supporting him on her days off. She fired back, reminding him she was always working double shifts just to support his lazy music habits. She yelled that she busted her back to fund his weird lifestyle choices. Mason defended himself, explaining that his new girl was into wild bedroom stuff, things his girlfriend never wanted to do. She reminded him that they had been together for 2 whole years. 2 full years of doing everything he wanted. And this was her devastating reward. Heartbreaking. She screamed that he wasn't sorry at all before the host greeted Tasha. The crew introduced themselves. The side piece tried apologizing, claiming she meant no harm. She swore she never knew he had a girlfriend, despite all the obvious couples photos hanging right on his apartment wall. She explained that Mason told her the girl in the photos was just his adopted sister. The liar actually convinced this other woman that his long-term girlfriend was his adopted sister, who had been in the family for 8 whole years. She claimed she had absolutely no idea. Unbelievable. Pure chaos. 2 years. Let's pause right here. The other woman proudly admitted she enjoyed his weird bedroom fetishes, but she continued swearing she never knew about the main girl. The girlfriend cried out about doing everything, utterly disgusted by the adopted sister lie. The side piece kept insisting she was completely in the dark about his double life. It was completely ridiculous. The host called him. She ordered Mason not to turn his back, screaming at him for a real explanation. The host asked how he could betray the woman he lived with. They lived together for 9 months. She brought up his empty promises about a romantic trip to Hawaii. Everyone wondered what the hell was happening. The host tried to settle the shouting match down as the explosive tensions boiled over. Mason kept spitting lies as the 2 women angrily argued over the absolute truth. So what do you and I make of this? The host asked who he was choosing. He shockingly chose his new mistress. You and I just heard him claim she liked it rough. The women argued about his serial cheating. Meanwhile, he just stood there repeating those same sick, crude excuses about his new fling. The host demanded to know why he chose this mistress. He stumbled over his words, eventually claiming he liked the new girl simply because she was around. He claimed she supported him. Then the host questioned the other woman. The side piece swore she had absolutely no clue about Nadia, repeatedly denying that she ever knew he was already taken. The host highlighted Nadia's heartbreak, but the cheating boyfriend coldly stated he just could not deal with this relationship anymore. The host slammed him for bringing the mistress into their shared home. Unfazed, the boyfriend shamelessly admitted they were sleeping together, right in their very own bed. Nadia screamed for him to back off. The crew reminded her that he had confessed, and the fatal damage was already done. The cheating man could not deny the harsh evidence. He confessed to everything the private investigators had captured. He apologized, but wanted his mistress. Both women were completely disgusted. Even the other woman flat out refused to leave with him after this mess. Furious, Nadia ordered him to pack up and get out. She finally realized she deserved a much better man. She cried out that she had sacrificed absolutely everything to support him. The crew had to hold the angry crowd back as the chaotic drama spilled directly out into the broad daylight. He desperately wanted to talk. The lead investigator stepped in. Let's look at the facts together. He confronted the mistress. She was sitting right there during that crucial phone call, so she clearly had to know he was already in a committed relationship. He accused her of just not caring. Cornered, she finally admitted she suspected something was up, but simply chose to ignore the truth completely. That damning phone call happened right in front of her, so her desperate claims of total innocence were nothing but a complete blatant lie. Nadia sobbed over 2 incredibly long, entirely wasted years. He had fed her so many empty promises. The cheater muttered weak apologies, finally deciding to just walk away from the mess. Pushed for a final answer, the disgraced man confirmed his exit. The confrontation was effectively over. He was totally done. He walked away, totally unable to face them or make a real choice. Neither woman wanted him anyway. Nadia wanted all his belongings. She resolved to throw everything away. She was officially done with him. That cowardly guy. The show's host gently apologized to Nadia for everything. It was a truly bizarre and overwhelming scene to witness today. But at the end of the day, she finally got the hard answers. He had lied bizarrely, claiming Nadia was his adopted sister to cover his dark tracks. But the other woman absolutely knew the truth. He chose the mistress, even though she clearly rejected him in the end. It was a pathetic display that left everyone completely stunned. Just as the team noted, Nadia truly dodged the bullet. The whole ordeal, it was completely bizarre. The crew could hardly process what they just witnessed. His crude excuses proved exactly why Nadia was better off alone now. It was the ugly truth, and they felt terrible she suffered. The entire betrayal was absolutely terrible. They wished her the very best, and she tearfully thanked them. After the chaotic confrontation, Nadia began rebuilding her shattered life. Stick with us to see how she puts her world back together at the episode's close. But right now, meet former client Trevor Olson. Trevor returned to discuss his explosive confrontation on the show. After Trevor saw that devastating footage of Jocelyn, the undeniable proof she was actually cheating on him, he just wanted to get down there and confront her as quickly as possible. Initially, he felt completely heartbroken by the situation. But once he actually saw her physically, with the other guy, and knowing him, made it infinitely worse. Trevor completely blew up. He lost his mind, yelling, "Hey, John, stop! What are you doing, man? No, huh? What is going on?
What the hell is wrong with you, bitch? What the? Stop!
What are you doing with my girlfriend, man? What are you doing, Robert? Stop! How could you do this to me? How could you do this? I have been with you for 3 long years. You have not been here. You have not been here. How could you say that? Get out of my face. Don't touch me, man. Do not touch me. Looking back, you and I can see Jocelyn didn't even seem to care. That coldness made it painfully obvious to Trevor that she was completely checked out of their relationship long before he ever realized it. She just sat there through the chaos. Trevor felt she had the casual attitude of someone who had simply spilled milk on the counter. Like she was saying sorry, she would clean it up, and it was absolutely no big deal. She was entirely flippant about the betrayal, basically acting totally done. When asked if Jocelyn admitted she was still seeing the guy, Trevor replied, "Yeah, I knew they were together."
The investigator asked.
"You knew?" Trevor nodded. The interviewer pressed further, asking what Jocelyn had to say about it when she finally confessed to him. Her excuse was that Trevor ignored her. The kicker, Trevor actually knew Sean well. They met in an acting class the 3 of them took together. They were not exactly close friends. Definitely more like casual acquaintances. But the simple fact that Trevor did have a decent working relationship with the guy made the betrayal sting more. Sean never said a word, sneaking around behind Trevor's back. He clearly did not care at all about Trevor's feelings. At the bus, Jocelyn fired back, yelling, "All you want to do is your stunt work. That is it. That is all to provide for yourself, so you can do whatever you want. Yeah, and you go break your back again, right?" "Right," Trevor screamed back. "Yeah, how long have you been cheating?" "How long have you hid this dude?" she snapped. "You have never been there. Get away from me." "It is over. When did you warn me?" "I did." Now, months later, Trevor is definitely taking his love life much slower. He has moved forward. It took him a couple of months to heal, but he is seeing somebody new, and he says this new relationship is a much more even playing field. There are strong feelings on both sides. Trevor notices that whenever he does something nice for her, she actively reciprocates. It might not happen on the exact same day, but she will always do something later to show him that she truly cares about him. Small actions like that matter, because he finds it harder to trust people now. He appreciates having the time to really get to know who a partner genuinely is, rather than falling for whatever fake outward appearance they might just put up a front for. The night of her big confrontation, Nadia Freeman spent hours packing up every single one of the suspect's belongings. Let's see how her story ends. Nadia felt a fresh chapter in her life opening. She knew surviving the breakup would be incredibly difficult, but she firmly desires to stay single. Meanwhile, according to Mason Wilson, Nadia ruined their relationship by obsessing over finances. Wilson claims he is already searching the night for a new victim to sink his fangs into. When contacted by our show's producers, Natasha Marie did not even try defending her role in the messy affair. She simply stated, "We are both better off without that dramatic Dracula. Now remember, if you and I do not get our television programming from Goldstein's, why we will both lose money."